never-ending story scarred me for life.
But I'm like, give me more potato.
Well, we're terrible at this.
Welcome to Brain Freeze, where you get the scoopity-doo on UMaine served up like ice cream. Today's guests come from the Department of Communication and Journalism, where students make headlines with our world-renowned faculty through challenging contemporary courses, delving into the personal and professional practices surrounding communication, mass communication, and journalism. Now, let's head to the IMRC's freaking awesome adaptive presentation and performance environment, where UMaine goes for all of its cutting-edge media needs, and meet our guests, Judith Rosenbaum-Andre and Julie Aprill. This is Judith. Judith's a professor and chair of the Department of Communication and Journalism. Her research focuses on the media we consume every day and how it affects all of us as people and our communities. Spoiler, she also loves horses. And this is Julie. Julie's from Kremlin, Colorado, and got her communication graduate degree in 2024 with Judith as her advisor. She recently presented her master's thesis at the annual International Communication Association in Denver this past June. Welcome to Brain Freeze. To warm up, here's a few icebreaker questions. If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
The main thing for me is living near a forest that I can go walk around in. So Maine's great, Colorado's great. I'm sure I would love the Pacific Northwest. So maybe I'll just say the Pacific Northwest, because I've already lived in Maine and Colorado.
Kind of with Julie, I gotta be near the woods, but at the same time, I was raised near a beach, so if it could be woods and the beach, and I mean a sandy beach like the Gulf Coast, where my husband's from, or the south of France where I used to live, that would be awesome.
What are some things that you share in common?
I think we have similar work styles, just generally. Kind of spurts of energy, do everything, do too much. Interestingly, you know, Judith rides horses.
Yes.
I don't ride horses, but I grew up in a very cowboy town, so I know about horses.
That is true, and we did do this graduate social event where y'all came to my barn and did a horse riding lesson, and you came to that.
I did, I rode your horse.
You did, that was so fun.
What's something you're really good at but not everyone knows about?
When I was a kid, I was really into pine wood derby. You take like a little block of pine wood and you carve it into a car, you put wheels on it, and then you race it down like a track with gravity.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I bake a lot, and I'm also really good at finding things. So if you think something's lost, I can probably find it out. I'm like the Nancy Drew of lost objects.
All right, detective. Time to open up some cold cases and get to our sample questions.
I'm worried it's not vanilla. Ooh, that's really good.
That is good.
Is it? I think it is vanilla.
I think so. What is the Department of Communication and Journalism?
The Department of Communication and Journalism is a medium-sized department in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, where we have 3 undergraduate majors. We have media studies, where students learn about the influence of the media on people, communication, where students are taught about the processes of communication and how that impacts people in various arenas like environmental communication and risk communication, and journalism, where students are basically taught to do journalism, or exactly what these folks are doing here right now. And then we also have an MA and a PhD in communication.
And, we've got rhetorical and comm science in our grad program, which is really cool.
We have a very broad array of folks, from environmental to risk to media studies to journalism, everything.
Very eclectic.
So Julie, what is a spoiler? And if we like to skip ahead to the last page of the book, what does it say about us as a person? I take issue with that question, but answer it.
So a spoiler is essentially kind of anything that lets you know what's going to happen, what the ending is. And if you like to skip ahead, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. Maybe sometimes it's just because you need a little bit more time to process. It gives you a chance to think about what's coming rather than just being super shocked. So it can be used for like emotional management.
Have you ever skipped ahead?
I have definitely looked at like last pages of books, and sometimes I look up just kind of like plot premises of movies that look like they're gonna be really sad because I like to be prepared.
I mean, I skip ahead all the time. It's anybody who watches a movie with me gets really agitated because I'm like, hang on, I need to find out what's happening. Especially if there's an animal, I have to know. Like the never-ending story scarred me for life. Let's see. This salted caramel? Do you say caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Yeah, definitely caramel.
Yeah.
Do y'all say caramel or caramel? Aw, I'm not
When we
tasting
communicate
blueberry
sometimes.
in this. I'm sorry, whoever made this. It's wonderful, but I'm not recognizing it. What is your average screen time per day, and what is your most used app?
I'm sure it's some kind of embarrassingly high number. I think the things I probably use the most would be YouTube.
Okay.
And Pinterest, and then just like various chat things.
Yeah.
Is social media a must for journalists? Does their professional success depend on how well they use it?
That's a really difficult question because as a reporter, ideally, you try to represent as objective a view of the world as possible. And I say objective between quotation marks because we all know that we look at the world through our own lens. And so in that case, social media shouldn't matter at all because you go out, you interview your people, you get your background information, you tell your story. At the same time, you're making news for an audience. And you have to know your audience in order to be able to connect with them. What better way to know your audience than to be on social media and to know what they're talking about? Do successful reporters need social media? Well, no, but I do think it can really help you to also to source stories. Oh, I like that.
Just like coconut and chocolate chips?
It's Needham.
Oh! So there's potato in it too.
I love Needhams.
Needhams are great.
They are so good.
Some people they hate the potato, but I'm like, give me more potato. Have our attention spans gotten shorter? Or are we just capable of processing more information faster?
I do think we are better at multitasking, but it doesn't work like that for everybody because some people really struggle with jumping from window to window, right? When I was in college, I could sit and read for hours. And now I don't know, I need a Pomodoro timer to keep me going. What is cancel culture? And has it made us more ethical or less tolerant?
So there's a lot of debate out there over exactly what cancel culture is, and that's partly because some people would argue that it's a way of holding people accountable, which you can definitely see that where people are, things like the Me Too movement is kind of an example of cancel culture. But some folks argue that, well, who really gets hurt by cancel culture? And it's often not people who are super powerful, except for in,
Like the Me Too
outlying
movement,
circumstances, right?
We talk about cancel culture as though it's a new thing, and it's really not. Back in the day, what did you do when you wanted to punish a peer in your class? You stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
Or you ignored them for a week, and your whole group of friends, Mean Girl style, would do the same thing. But I echo your concerns that are we seeing true change, or are we just seeing people being held accountable to levels that are really high and just not necessarily realistic or kind?
And I mean, my biggest concern is just, can people redeem themselves?
Right.
Because most people deserve
Right.
redemption and second chances, and I believe in grace
Right.
as a person.
That's maple.
Yes,
I'm scared to say it now.
I was about to say caramel again. And maybe I just taste caramel everywhere I
Everything
go.
is caramel.
How do you teach objectivity? Is full objectivity even possible?
What I teach my students is objectivity exists, like this is a table, and if I walk, I'm going to walk into it and it's going to hurt, and we can all acknowledge this is a table, but we'll all probably describe it slightly differently. So in that sense, objectivity is not totally achievable. The closest we can get is something that we call intersubjectivity, meaning that we all agree on the same definition. So this is a round silver table. we've agreed to call it silver. When I teach this, I try to explain to students you need to be very aware of your own bias. What is your political stance? What do you believe? Be aware of that, and then try to see how that influences how you observe things. So if you don't like round tables, you might describe this more negatively than somebody who does like round tables, right? And that's the level of awareness that I try to teach students. How do you see AI impacting media in the future, for better or worse?
You know, I think AI is really like any other technological advancement we've seen in a lot of ways, where it's going to have its pros and cons that we're going to have to kind of wrestle with. I do think it's important to be thinking about the negatives and mitigating those. You know, not losing the art of media to AI, but it can be a really great tool at the same time.
What I really see is that you can use AI to summarize an article, and my students have told me they do that. So then as an instructor, it becomes key to move past can you summarize and to instead move into can you critically analyze, because that's a lot harder for AI. So it's really about building up skills that surpass what AI can do. Yes.
Moxie, oh!
Wow.
I like Moxie.
It's weird.
It's like a grown-up root beer.
It is, I kind of like it. I don't think many Mainers like it, but I like it.
Do you believe in separating media from its creator when that person is found to be immoral?
Oh, that's a tough question. You know, if you get really critical, it's really hard to listen to a lot of music or watch a lot of movies.
Once you've put the art out into the world, it's not really yours anymore. So I think there's also something powerful in saying, nope, it's not yours anymore. We're claiming it for ourselves because that's what art is. So like, it's tricky. I agree.
If you could share an ice cream with anyone from history, who would it be and what flavor would they have?
Okay, we go with Zachary Taylor, and I would feed him cherry ice cream because that was his last meal before he died, was a bowl of cherries and cream. Right after dedicating the Washington Monument, he had his bowl of cherries, he had his cream, got super sick, maybe with cholera. A grad student in like the 90s thought maybe he was poisoned. They exhumed his body. They didn't see any evidence of that, but I think for the irony, I'd have to go with that. What about you?
Probably Queen Elizabeth, because I've watched all of The Crown, and I'd be really curious, like, give me the tea. Like, what really went down?
I want to know the perspective.
And then I'd probably have to give her some fancy pants ice cream, like maybe salted caramel or something like that.
Give her that blueberry one and see if she can figure it out.
There you go.
The game is Flash Freeze Lightning Round Quiz. Answer as many UMaine related questions as you can in 60 seconds before the temperature hits 0. You must be eating ice cream to answer. Most correct answers win! And your time starts now. Where was Maine's original state capital?
Portland.
What holiday do only Maine and Massachusetts celebrate?
Patriots Day.
What's your favorite thing about Maine?
Trees.
What's the Maine state bird?
The chickadee.
That's Georgia.
What's the longest river in Maine?
The Penobscot.
True or false? There's a banana tree on campus.
True.
Where can you find the state of Maine's largest library?
Maine. Here. Orono.
On this campus? Vogler.
Right.
How much is an average parking ticket on campus?
$50.
What Maine town is a frequent crossword puzzle answer?
Augusta.
Portland. Bar Harbor.
Orono.
True or false? JFK visited UMaine on homecoming.
True.
False. Terrible.
Very good job. Very
you
good
won.
job. Congratulations, Julie. You have won our game Flash Freeze and a UMaine gift card.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being such a great Brain Freeze guest. As a token of our appreciation, we'd like to give you each a Brain Freeze sticker and beanie.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wear it loud and proud. I scream, you scream, we all scream.
Brain freeze!
Oh, I don't think I need to eat lunch now, though.